Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Today we have Ebony K. Williams back front and center talking about her relationship perspectives and her prospects. And she sounds and seems to finally have gotten it together. Early on, when she had the bus driver debacle, she was way off. And then she came back and talked about her, freezing her eggs and trying to have a baby at 40, 41, and the prospects about that. And now she's back again talking about relationships and how she views her situation and her prospects with men at her lofty level because she's a 1 to 5 percenter. And she's starting to understand that there never was going to be a plethora of 1 to 5% men for her to choose from. And I think is finally sunk in. But she's on your Earn Your Leisure podcast, and I clipped up a few things for us to talk about. And I'd like you, before we get started, to like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, because I'm looking to put out a video every day, at least one a day, maybe sometimes more. Then I have a sports show on Wednesdays that at 6 o'clock Eastern. You could plug into that, make comments. Every so often, I have a couple of guys. We chop it up. They come up and we chop it up, and those kind of things. And it's like an hour, hour and a half at most, and we go over all the topics out there, just like any other sports show. But it's from the perspective of people who don't think they're overly important. You know what I'm saying? And so we keep it fun, and you might like that. I think you'd like that show. On Mondays, I'm on the Black Man Unfiltered channel, and this Monday at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about men being the gatekeepers of marriage, which is kind of apropos for this thing with Ebony K. And we're going to talk about what it feels like, what it looks like, or is it even right for women to propose to men? That's going to be kind of the cornerstone of what we're talking about and why that should never be a trend. That's from my perspective, but I think most men will agree with that. So that's one thing on Monday on Black Man Unfiltered, and that's at 6 o'clock. So pop in over there. I'm going to simulcast it over here on my channel as well. But back to the issue at hand. I'm going to go ahead and share uh, this clip from Ebony K. Williams. I'm going to stop and make a little bit of commentary along the way. And then I'm going to post a link to Earn Your Leisure channel. And you can go ahead and subscribe to them and listen to the whole thing in full and in total. They got like 1.4 million subscribers. So I'm sure they don't mind getting a little more, just like I wouldn't at my lowly levels. Anyway, so here goes. So I'm going to share this with you, and then you comment and we'll chop it up from there.
Independent Black woman, and has that
has it served us? Is that the question? Has that served us?
Helpful, or is it destroying the Black family ecosystem?
I think you have to say on some level it's destructive to a traditional Black family ecosystem. I think just the facts bear that out, right? So that's not feelings, that's not subjective. That's just the reality is, as you just pointed out, there is a huge numbers gap between Black women that are buying homes at almost twice the rate of single Black men, that are graduating from undergrad and professional schools at sometimes 6-7 times the rate of our brothers. And by the way, if you ask most Black women, that's not something that we enjoy or appreciate. Like, it's not a situation. And I think that's another misconstruction and a misassumption, that Black women are out here strategically competing against Black men. No, sir. Most of us want to be in relationship with Black men. And so it's in our interest, even selfishly. So not necessarily from this altruistic place of, oh, we just want to see our brother succeed. There's that for sure. But there's a self-interested element of that, right? That says, if I'm a Black woman and I want to have Black children with a Black man and live in a house with a Black husband and buy properties and travel the world and enjoy my life alongside a Black man, I would like him to be similarly positioned to me socioeconomically, so that partnership feels comfortable and feels safe. from a fiscal place, and maybe some other places too. So let me just spend a little time on that, because I was talking to a very good girlfriend of mine who's one of your typical clients, as you described, early 40s, making 500K plus, single, da, da, da. And there's a lot of thought that women like her, myself even, of course, are materialistic. And that's why when we say we are attracted to this type of man, or we prefer to date this kind of man that has similarly, notice hardly any of us are saying we need a man to make more than us, or we need a man to take care of us, or we need a man to pay our bills. No, really, truly, hand to God, we really would love to be partnered with someone who is similarly positioned.
But can I
So let me stop it right there on this one, right? She's talking about having a partner. And a lot of people just take that word as something that you could flip and you could interchange with the word husband. And you cannot. You cannot. So she never says she needs a husband. She wants a partner, somebody to live with. Somebody you can like actually write a partnership agreement with. I do this, you do that. I want this, you want that. This is how we could divide up things. This is how we could share into expenses. That's what she wants. She wants a loving partner. She doesn't want a husband, because if she wanted a husband, she would have to give up a certain amount of autonomy that she doesn't want to give up. And she alludes to this later on in this thing, and I might not even show that part. But matter of fact, I'm not. You can look at this whole thing, because I'm gonna put this whole video clip into the description, and I suggest go over to Earn Your Leisure podcast and look at the whole thing. This is just my commentary to some of the stuff she says, and I don't really have any angst or any real opposition to what she says. The only thing she doesn't do is clarify the fact that she's not looking for a husband. None of these women are looking for husbands, because husbands has a connotation of submission, of godliness, where it's God, man, woman, and children. And these women are far beyond any kind of position to be that faithful and that submissive to a man. And she doesn't go there far enough to say that, but later on she alludes to that. So you need to go and listen to the whole thing. And I don't know if I can hate on her for that, because I think she's being pretty clear. But this is the reason why she's having issues, because I don't think she clearly tells men, you know, listen, I'm not looking for a husband in that fashion. I just want somebody to buddy with. I just want a strong guy around to put my shoulder on, who's going to be there when I need him, and going to be there when I want to get my cheeks busted. And just, you go to your corner of the house, I go to my corner of the house, and, we just kind of exist together in a partnership. That's really what she's looking for. So let's go. I'm going to go to another clip, which, she goes a little further, and we'll listen to that part.
A woman attractive, what are we really talking about under that? And it doesn't hurt my feelings, let's just say it. People across the spectrum culturally, but we're talking about Black people, so let's center that. Black women are assessed around our beauty, our aesthetic physical beauty, and there's biological reasons for that, and our fertility and our youth. Those are the main things that a man is going to be assessing when deciding if you are for him. And then it's going to be the quote soft skills. It's going to be, do you make him feel loved, catered to, loyal? Are you relatively non-confrontational? Not too much pushback or challenges around ideas and decisions. And those are the things that would really make you just highly desirable in the dating market as a woman. Now let's go to men. What makes a man highly desirable in a dating market? It is going to be financials. It's going to be your ability to provide financially and fiscally. It's also going to be your physicals, kind of your stature. Like there's a reason why, this 666 thing, I think that's really corny, but whatever. But there's a reason why a lot of women will swipe right on men that are at least 5'10", 6 feet. They want to feel there's some physical dominance coming from a man. Then you've got, just kind of age. There's a reason why older men, like you just said, bro, like 50 plus, that's not a deterrent for most women, because that presumes more stability. That presumes you've lived life longer and you can probably protect and know and help and navigate these spaces better and more effectively than I can in my youth. So you're right. Kind of the way in which we assess and evaluate value as men versus women create an inherent conflict.
Let me stop it right there. This is where she gets it wrong. The way we assess the roles of men and women and the inherent value and the value doesn't create an inherent conflict. It's the natural order of things. That's the way it's always been and always will be. And the reason why people are having issues is because they're trying to do and beat things outside of their natural state. This is what she can't get. Doesn't matter how much money you have, Ebony. Your natural way that you should be as a woman and a man's natural way he is as a man doesn't create an inherent conflict. That's the beauty of our differences. So even though she's getting it a little bit, she still uses words that says she doesn't fully get it. She sounds like a woman who will tolerate the fact that men are this way, women are another way, and that we can work it out. And if we have a partnership agreement, maybe that we can kind of spell that out in the partnership agreement. So it's not an inherent conflict. It is a natural way we are different. So there we differ, Ebony. But you know what? I ain't hating on you because I can. So now people are going to understand you a little bit more if they really listen to what you're saying. And that's really the key. So I'm gonna fast forward again. I got one more piece I'm gonna show, and then we'll wrap this up.
Men that are our age and financial equal, which is why personally, I enjoy dating older men, because at 40, if I'm dating a man who's 56, there's more likelihood that he will appreciate some aspect of youth around me. Now, that same 56-year-old get a 28-year-old, it's possible. But I'm living this. I'm not just talking and writing about it, guys. I'm out here living this, and I have been for the last 4-ish years since I ended my engagement. I do find that can be a sweet spot for some women that are in that like 38 to 45-year-old range. Dating older men can kind of give you back some of that advantage around you.
When I'm listening to it, I'm trying to figure out, there's plenty of women who are in that scenario right now when we're talking about socioeconomic factors. Is that the compromise? Or even, I don't even want to use the word compromise. Is that?
I think you better think about it. I think you're damn sure, because I got girlfriends and sorority sisters that don't like to date those men. It's exactly what you said. They're 40. They want to date a 40-year-old. They don't have kids. They don't want him to have kids. Right. So one of the reasons, I'm sure we'll get into this, you guys know I've been very public that I am deep into my single motherhood by choice journey. I'm having my child as we speak. Like, that process is well underway. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is because I date older men. And you know what the situation of older men are? They've had their children. Their children are grown. Their children might even be in college or beyond.
Let me stop it there. I'm going to end it there. So she's making the distinction that an older man is good for her who already has children, so we can get the fertility thing out the way. The one thing she has to convince that older man, if he wants to be her partner, he's going to have to be used to having a baby around the house. So she probably has some successful surrogacy going on right now because she froze her eggs. She talked about it, but she's not giving all those details, but she kind of intimated what she said. So that older man who doesn't want kids of his own will have to go ahead and not tolerate. I mean, listen, if I'm an older guy, 65, I like kids. If my wife, no, but if I had a child around my house and that was part of my bloodline, I would have no problem, having a goo goo gaga around, and putting some of my wisdom into that little kid, whether it's a boy or a girl, and trying to get it right for them as they grow into adulthood. As long as their mama and dad's around, I wouldn't mind having a kid around the house. It's not going to bother me. So there's a lot of men who are not going to really be that crazy because of a kid, especially if they have a woman that, is satisfying her biological imperative, and they fall in love with that woman, or they have a partnership with her because she clearly doesn't want a husband. And if a man actually marries her, they're going to have that discussion, because in her head, he's not a husband, he's a partner. She's completely secular about this. All right. So that's one thing. So that's all. I'm going to end it here. Like I said, I'm going to put this whole video in my description so you can watch it all the way through. I might clip this up with some other sections and put it in another video, because she comes up and says a few other things in here that I actually like, and kind of confirms some of the things I think about Black women and where they are. So without further ado or further commentary from me, Art Payne, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.